I'm Eric Lindstrom from Sustainable Technologies. I actually thought I was going to go third, so I have some samples I was going to pass around that I forgot. Can I go grab them real quick? Yes. Okay. So Sustainable Technologies is an innovative engineering company, and what I'm here to talk to you guys tonight about is the Facet. And I'm going to pass a couple of these around to look at because I always think it's really awesome to be able to get your hands on a product and actually touch it while you're learning about it. But the best way to describe how this came into existence is a story that a few of you have heard before, so I apologize for the redundancy. But I want to say it was 2007, a team was asked to put solar on the Staples Center. So they were down in LA trying to figure out how to do this, and at the time, the Staples Center had a new membrane on the roof. It was a TPO membrane, which is really common now in commercial buildings, but it was really new at the time, so there weren't a lot of different ways to attach solar to it and keep the waterproofing going. And the other unique thing is with sports complexes, usually you can't have a lot of weight in the center of a roof. So a ballasted system was out, and most of the normal attachment methods were out just because it was going to weigh too much. So they're down there trying to figure out what they're going to do to win this job and put solar on the Lakers Center, which would be the first arena with solar, and they come up with the Facet. So that's what you guys are passing around right now. There's 16 different holes where you can attach it to the roof. We have our own flashing that comes in a TPO or PVC membrane. And when we were in the process of winning this job, what the Staples Center owners were saying to us is, we don't care how you do this, but if you get one drop of water on our floor, we will kill you because we have billions of dollars worth of knees on that floor. So our big thing was, how are we going to attach this? How are we going to do it so that we're not putting too much weight on the roof? And how are we going to keep it waterproofed? And that's where the Facet came into play. So we're in the roof attachment market, obviously. There's a lot of common solutions, the ballast and brackets and clamps. And what we did is we got rid of all of that, and we got a lighter solution that cuts down on the amount of attachment points you need. It also cuts down on the weight of the overall system, and it gives you an awesome waterproofing due to a couple of our patents, which I'll dive into a little bit later. And then we also have a warranted solution, which is really cool because a lot of what people would use in the past didn't have a warranty on it, right? You would be essentially drilling holes into a roof and it would void the warranty. And when you're putting solar on a building, especially if it's a new building, that's absolutely the worst thing you can hear. So we've worked with a lot of the companies who have these membranes, the TPO and the PVC, to get a warranty where when you attach it, we're not going to avoid that as long as it's flashed correctly once it's attached to the roof. Here's our current products. You guys are passing the Facet around. The flashing is that waterproofing I've been talking about. And then the stanchion, which is what you can use to attach solar racking to it if you need to lift it further off the roof. Here's our patent information. So we have an integrated cover membrane, which seals all the penetrations. We have a domed raised mount. So that's that part in the middle. You can see that middle screw doesn't actually go all the way through. So where you're attaching the racking, that's not actually where you're attaching it to the roof. There's also the use of angled fasteners. So you can install it on any type of roof. It's just a different type of waterproofing depending on what membrane you have on the top. Right now we have these active materials, so it's the TPO, PVC, Key, TPA, and then those are all the brands that we're working with the warranties on. And under development we have EPDM, huge on the East Coast, built up roofs, and those are both going to be released really soon. And then a few others as we go further down the line, and you can already use the Facet on all of these. It's just that warranted system to waterproof it that we're trying to get in play. Here's a look at what our solution does compared to the competition, which is what honestly makes it so unique. One of the things that we've heard used a lot already today is efficiency. And what we're trying to do is make this more accessible, right? So you're going to see on the next few slides that this is stronger when you install it. You can use less of it, and it's installed faster, which makes it cheaper. So here's the tensile strength. Compared to our competitors, you can see that we have 14 times the strength. Here's the shear strength. Again, massively stronger than the competition. And then the price. And with all three of those, what that does is it makes this a lot more accessible. One of the things that people have noticed is the price of panels have gone down significantly over the last few years. And what this is going to do is continue to make the full solar system go down in price. So I've only been with the company for about a year now. So I'm also relatively new to the market, and one of the things that just blew my mind is the amount of different parts that go into every single solar installation. Until you actually dive into it and find out all the components and all the different companies that are needed to make solar happen, it seems like it's such an easy concept, and it is not. So having a product like this is going to continue to drive down that overall install price, and we're really excited about that. So we just were in the Innovation Awards. We got second place for sustainability. Super excited about it. And that's one of the things we're doing to kind of start marketing our product. And the other is getting different approvals. So we're in the process with the County of LA right now, or the City of LA right now, to get our LARR number, which if any of you have done work down in that area know is absolutely critical. They won't even look at your product or touch it unless you have one of those. Yeah. So we just got our LARR number. We're waiting on the final report, and we're super excited about that. And then I wanted to talk about a few of our milestone installations. So we already went over the Staples Center and the Nokia Theater. And then the other one was the White Rose facilities. So we actually used Facet on those, and they withstood hurricanes Irene and Sandy, and there was 0 structural damage or leaks after that. So if that's not a testament to the way that this is attached, I don't know what is. And then the last one is Cal ISO, so just another massive project that hasn't had any issues and has been installed for a while now, and we're continuing to expand. We actually also just moved into the residential market, so we're going to start using our product on some residential roofs, and there's a lot of opportunity with it. Questions, anybody?
Let me just quiz the crowd here. Who has an idea of what panels cost per watt, per peak watt? It's less than $1. Al?
We can get them under 40 cents. Under 50 cents.
Under 50 cents?
Sales under 40.
All right. In mass quantity, you can probably get them under 40. 40 cents a kilowatt. 38.
37.5.
Do I hear 37? 37. Now, what's the all-in installed cost on a residential structure for solar dollars per watt? You don't get to answer.
I was thinking that.
$4.
$4?
Threes and fours.
Three and a
Threes and
half.
fours. Yeah.
And some sixes.
Somebody tracks this, and I think they said it was $3.29 a kilowatt. So the panels are 40 cents of the $3.29.
Where's the rest?
The majority of the cost, and that isn't where it started, because the panel cost used to be $2 and $3 a watt, and the total cost is much higher. So the panel cost for an installation is now something like 10% of your total cost. So the racking system, the labor, the inverter, the electronics, that's where cost savings can be made. That's one of the reasons why this was so significant. And there's quite a bit of savings in this because of the labor, material that you have in there, how fast it goes up, and its strength. So whoever has the dinner plate going around on that, it seems like a simple technology, and as with most great ideas, it looks obvious after you see it. But it was the first one that anybody ever came up with. So I just wanted to put this in context. Other questions?
Do you have a video of how the whole system is integrated? I didn't.
We have a couple installation guides on our website. I don't think we have a video this time, but it is
Or
something we're
well,
working on.
just a slide in the. In
there,
in the
yeah.
deck. I didn't see.
No, I didn't have one in the deck.
Where's the dinner plate?
Where's the dinner plate?
Give me the dinner plate. The small dinner plate.
So for the Facet, every installation will obviously depend on the job, what type of racking you're using, how big the system size is, and your engineer would have to determine how many you'd use, but essentially what it does is it distributes the weight so you can use less overall. And the other really cool thing about the attachment is you don't need to have an exact design when you're installing it, because it doesn't need to go into that support beam. You can put it anywhere on the roof.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So the screws go in these things, Kurt. Yeah. And obviously you can have up to like 16 that go in there, but usually they put 2 or 4 in. It's just screwed into the top of the roof. And then there's a flashing membrane that goes over it, and then you can either put the rack into that threaded slot, or she had the standoffs if you need to get it out a little bit. But I don't know whether you have familiarity with how typically you fasten things on a commercial roof, but it's like a whole big structural enterprise trying to get the weight distributed right. You have to hit the beam, and you don't want the thing moving around, so you ballast it with concrete. And this is so much simpler. That's why they've had such significant success. And how much success have you had? You've sold over
Yeah, so
150,000.
we actually didn't start marketing this right away. We were using it internally for several years, but it's the last 3 we started selling it, and in the last 3 years we've tripled our growth.
Yeah.
I think we sold a very, very minimal amount of units, maybe 3,000 the first year, and we're at 80,000 plus this year.
Great. Right.
Oh, sorry.
Is the technology different on like a residential shingle roof than it is on a commercial temporary roof?
Yeah, a lot of it is the waterproofing. So you would have a different attachment method for that. And one of the things I'll actually mention is right here, it's a coated facet. So for roofs that aren't TPO or PVC, we would sell you a high cast aluminum without the coating. That way it doesn't have any effect when you actually go to do the waterproofing afterwards.
But it would go right on top of the composite shingle roof. So, yeah, when the guys put the stuff on my roof, they managed to create some leaks that I then got to re-drywall my ceiling in one of the bedrooms.
Ouch.
Thanks to that. So I'm very sensitive to that. Other questions? There was one over here somewhere?
Yeah, so
Murray?
it's less weight compared to what you used to use. Do you know what the ratio is, like a third, a half, less than that?
It really depends on the system. I would venture to guess maybe even up to half, but it really depends on how the engineer ends up having you install it. Because a lot of it will depend on, how many fewer mounts you can use per system. And then it's obviously a significant decrease from ballast, because the ballast is putting the extra weight on the roof.
And are you manufacturing in the U.S. and yes, where?
No, not in the US.
Concerned about copycats or?
We have good patents on it, so it's not an overwhelming concern, and we've got good partners, so feeling pretty good about it so far. Obviously the best form of flattery, but
Yeah, right. Any
yeah.
other questions? All right, well, thank you very much, Erica.